Well, hello and welcome back to another week on my allotment. It's been a good week. We've had some dry weather, dry, sunny, working days. It's been an absolute joy. I knew it would happen eventually, and of course I think it was because I dug all these irrigation ditches on the inside of the plot. It hasn't rained since. Unfortunately, the forecast for the next couple of weeks is a bit miserable, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as it has been. So the plot's looking good. All the beds have been lightly forked over. It's looking really good at the moment. Let's hope the rain isn't too heavy. It's Mothering Sunday, so happy Mother's Day to all you ladies out there. You really are the glue that holds society together. And I've made a purchase. I've bought something. I've spent some money. I'll show you that in a moment as well. A lot of other YouTubers have this item, and it was from them that I got the idea. But I'll show you that in a sec. And of course, March is the sowing month. It's when everything kicks off, you know, really serious for us plotters. So, the greenhouse has got a few things in it now. It's certainly not up to full speed, but we'll have a brief look at that. And then I'll show you around the plot, show you what I've done and what I plan to be doing today and this week. Yeah, so in the greenhouse, I've got 3 gutters with peas in. One of them is the purple snap pea, purple magnolia. The basil isn't moving much, probably just not warm enough. The brassicas look good. Still only 1 sweet pea out of about 20 seeds. Then I've got some New Zealand spinach over there, some lettuce, and then lots of onions, spring onions, red and white onions, and leeks. So I feel the start of the ramping up of sowing is just beginning. So yes, a purchase. And some of you will go, yeah, I know that. Yes, it's it was designed with keeping photographs. Why wouldn't you put photographs in an album? I don't, remember the old-fashioned thing? Peel the sticky page back, stick the photos in, put the sticky page back. Ah, the good old days. Well, this is a photo storage box. And of course, many of you YouTubers have got these. But these individual boxes, and there's 18 of them, are perfect for the seed packets. They're transparent, so you can see what's in them. I do need to get a labeler. Son-in-law Carl, I think you've got one. Let me know if it works, and I want to pinch it. But yeah, they're perfect for seeds. I've had all sorts of different ways of keeping seeds. I had a cardboard box. We bought a little metal tin at a garden centre that said seeds on it, and it had cards in for each month, but it just isn't substantial enough. Over the years I've been doing this, my seed collection has grown, and here is my high-tech solution at the moment. I have a bag full of seed packets. That's no way to do it, is it? I'm supposed to be a highly professional allotmenteer. So yeah, I'm really chuffed with it. I might need a second one, I don't know. I haven't counted how many crops I grow. Alphabetical order. The first one I can think of is beetroot. I don't have asparagus seeds. Is there anything beginning with A? I'm sure there's something blindingly obvious I haven't thought of. Yeah, I'm gonna label them, but I'm gonna spend a happy hour sat in my shed sorting all my seed packets out into those little boxes. I'll thoroughly recommend it. I mean, I haven't used it yet, but without using it I can recommend it. Well, let's start with having a look at the plot. And the first thing to say is the weather was warm enough and dry enough this week for me to cut the grass all the way around my plot. And of course this is where I park my van in the summer. I shan't be doing that for a good couple of weeks yet. This week also gave me the opportunity to sort these 4 tubs out. So again, the soil was dug out, manure was placed in, and the soil put back in. I shall be growing carrots in those this year. Right, to the main plot. like I say, I mean, it's very brown at the moment. It is every spring, but I'm very happy with the way the plot is looking at the moment. It's in very good condition, even though I say so myself, in all modesty. I did say that the frog spawn had all gone, and then this week I was stood at the pond just staring into it, and I noticed some tadpoles, and I can see some now. There are a few tadpoles in there, so some of the frog spawn somehow survived, but the vast majority of it was gone, and there are only a few tadpoles. I don't expect them to survive for long. Anyway, yes, to the main plot. What have I been doing? Yeah, what the hell have I been doing? Well, yeah, all these beds have been lightly forked over that I can. This one with the manure on, that's growing potatoes this year. I'm not going to dig that in. I'm going to leave it as it is, and I think the potatoes will be fine. You can see the strawberry bed there. The strawberries are suffering a little bit, and I think because the summer sun is so low in the sky, it didn't occur to me when I relocated them that that fence would shield those rows of strawberries from the winter sun. So that wasn't the best move. With hindsight, I shall remember that in future, that strawberries need to be in full sun. And here's a quick look at the internal irrigation ditches. I do think they are draining the beds off, but of course we haven't had enough rain for them to be running at the moment. And I'm growing brassicas in this bed, so I've sorted out the canes to hold the enviromesh off them, and these mushroom tops that protect the canes and make sure that the enviromesh can run freely over it. And if anyone doesn't know, they are rebar caps. Rebar caps. You can buy them on Amazon. Yeah, even the soil where the peas are going to be grown this year has been lightly forked over, so it looks a lot better for it. And these two beds either side of the rose arch, there I'm growing my French and runner beans in those this year. So I've got those two cane wigwams which I shall grow the climbing beans up, and then around the base of it I will put the dwarf French beans. That's the plan. I have to say, these tubs with the daffodils in are an absolute joy. Now, talking of sod's law, when I put these two shower screens here to protect my broad beans from the westerlies, ever since I did it, we've had easterlies, northerlies and southerlies. What we have yet to have is a bloody westerly. So they're wasting their time there. I think I might bring some of my peas in the guttering up here and put those over the top to give them a little bit of protection from the elements. What else have I been doing? Yeah, it's hard. I can't imagine. Nothing through here. And after our lovely forced rhubarb crumble last weekend, I've obviously put this membrane down, and there's rhubarb that I've missed. There's another forced plant there. I could have another forced crumble. I don't know what to do about that. Either one or two things. I either need to move the membrane, or I need to cut out the rhubarb, because that can't stay like that. Anyway, as we stand, that is the plot at the moment. But I have a little bit of gossip for you regarding the site. Yeah, so about midweek, one of the ladies who hasn't been up for a year, she's had some situations in her personal life, one of which was she lost her car. So she's just not been able to get here. So she didn't grow anything last year, and she didn't take anything to the shop. But she came back this week, and John was speaking to her, and she told him that all those people who didn't work their plot last year and didn't take any produce to the farm shop as per the contract have had to pay £100 for their plot as opposed to our 70. So there was a slight penalty for not working the plot, albeit the same people who didn't work their plot are still going to have their plots. But yeah, that's, I mean, I'm not wishing other people to have to pay more, but it does sort of mean that those of us who work the plot didn't have to pay as much. So that's what's happened. We'll see over the next month or two. I mean, like I said, last week was glorious, absolutely beautiful up here all week, and apart from that one lady, nobody else has come back. So we're well into March now. We shall see. In total, down the end of my plot, I have 8 individual compost bays. Only 2 of them have compost in. So if I go through them, that one has leaf mould, that one has stored firewood, that one is empty, and that one is leaf mould. On this side, that one has got cardboard in it, that one is empty, that one has got old compost that is covered in cardboard and I'm allowing to continue the composting process. And then the end one on the left is my working bay. Well, of course, at the moment the beds are bare, so there's, apart from weeds, there's not a lot going in there. I have put in some manure from the pile, but other than that there's not a lot happening here. But I think because there's simply nothing else for me to do up here today, I'm going to take that one filled bay and I'm going to turn it into the bay next door to it because it's empty. And that bay reached, I had the compost thermometer in it, and it reached 65 degrees centigrade a couple of weeks ago. It's dropped off now to about 25, which means the little critters and bugs will start to move in now the heat has dissipated, and they'll start their process. But I think I'll help it along by turning it, and that'll give me something to do that's constructive. Of course, I know the question on everybody's lips. How's the composting toilet going, Martin? Well, I'm glad you asked. Going very well. I'm pleased to report that the bucket in the toilet presently is 3/4 full, and I'm working on it. And of course, once it's full, I put the lid on, seal it, and I put it to one side for a year. After a year, I open up the bucket, I put my hand in, and I pick out crumbly, loose, beautiful soil. That'll make an interesting video, won't it? Something to look forward to. Well, I'm chuffed to bits with that. When I got into that, turning the manure, or the compost, it was better than I thought. So I've top mulched the strawberry bed, and that'll see it through the summer. Fantastic. Well, that bay's empty. And that one's half full or half empty, depending on your approach. But actually it's quite good stuff. I think what I might do is I'm going to cover it up with cardboard again, shut the lid, and then leave it for another month. And then I'm going to top dress one of the beds that I'm going to grow pumpkins and squashes in this year, over there, and use it. And over the summer it'll rot down even more. Really pleased with that time spent. Right, I've got a bit of a dab on, so I'm going to go and sit down and have a brew. I only noticed this morning, this is the honeyberry I bought last year, or as my son in Canada calls it, a hascap, but it's in flower. I wonder if I'll get a crop. The last part of the mulching the strawberries is I have a plan diagram of each bed, and on a sheet adjacent to it I put down when and how I mulched, top dressed, dug in, whatever, compost, leaf mould, manure. So I have a record of each bed being improved, and so then the one that was done the furthest away is the next one I do, etc, etc. I'm not very good at keeping records, but that is one thing I do religiously, because the soil improvement is critical to the health of the allotment and the produce. The world is full of useless information, so let's do some. There are more privately owned guns than people in the US. Well, the last time I saw, there were 320 million people in the United States. That is a staggering amount of guns. Here we go. In a study of belly buttons, yes, you heard me right, 2,368 different species of bacteria were found. 1,458 of them were new to science. One belly button had a rare bacteria only found in Japanese soil, and the person had never been to Japan. 2 belly buttons had a rare bacteria that thrived only on the ice caps. Not a single bacteria was common to all the belly buttons. Chopping wood for an hour results in a 48% increase in testosterone in men. That's fascinating. That's how easy it is to affect your body. This one is staggering to me. 25% of British citizens trust the government. Where on earth have they been for the last 4 years? There have been 288 mass shootings in US schools since 2009. That's unbelievable. The next highest country has had 8. 34% of adults sleep with a stuffed animal, blanket or other sentimental item. 34% of adults. Less than 10% of people do not wear seatbelts, and they account for 51% of accident fatalities. 93% of people don't check facts they read on the internet. Here's one for allotmenteers. Scientists in California have successfully inserted vaccines into fruit and vegetables. They say that this may be the future for vaccines. What a good reason to grow your own food. The Church of England has hired a deconstructing whiteness officer on £36,000 a year. I don't even know what that is. Yeah, fascinating. And completely useless information. Well, I've got a bit of news. I've just had a visit on the plot from my friend John and his wife. Now I have those 2 plots there. Then there's my neighbour with this plot here. Never used, never worked. It's been like that since I've been here. He's been here longer than me. And then we have this plot here, which has been rented by a couple. And they disappeared at the start of COVID. I think they took it quite seriously. And they never came back. They've not come back to date. So that's this plot here. And then there's my friend John. John's plot is immaculate. He's retired. He's up here almost every day. He doesn't come Sundays normally, but he's been up here today. And the news he's given me is that this couple here, they pay their money every year and then they never come up. Well, this year, John was called down to the office to see the landowner, and the landowner said, I'm not letting them have it this year. They've done nothing with it, so would you like it? So he's told them, John said he'll give them a decision Monday. Well, John asked for this plot a few months ago, so I don't quite understand his indecision or his hesitation, but he's just been up here to show it to his wife with a view to taking it on. So this is his task ahead. Now I've said I'll give him a hand because those brambles there are as thick as your thumb, and that's going to be no mean feat. They're actually growing inside the shed. So yeah, but a large part of it is covered with sheeting, and it's been covered for 4 years, so there will be bare soil under that. So it's a mixed bag, but I'm really pleased for him. And of course he inherits that little homemade greenhouse, which is an asset. There's a lot of junk on here, but you know, he's retired, he's got time and effort on his hands, so I'm sure he'll make a thriving go of it, and I'm going to give him a hand where I can with a bit of the oomph. So really good news. I'm thrilled for him, and I'm pleased that this plot at least is going to be neat and tidy within a couple of months. It's just this one that's an eyesore. Well, it's early afternoon and I've had a good day. Really pleased with my progress. Glad I've turned the compost heap. Nice to see John. That's good news about that plot, and I shall watch that and film it as he progresses. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Please give it a thumbs up if you can. And all being well, I will see you next weekend. So until then, have a good week. Enjoy your gardens and your allotments. Look after yourselves. Take care. Bye for now.